And I'm going to show you first the normal atlas, the one that you can access through the IHCC website, and then the test instance, just to show you the one that we uploaded yesterday. But, well, it's just to show a pair of things here. So what can we see here? We have on the left side the filters. In here we have some visualization, and in the center we have the main information for the chords. So we have each chord in each row, and you see that we have all this different information. And yeah, there are different pages for this. So first of all, we can select which information we want to visualize here. If we go here, we can choose which columns we want it to show. And if there are too much, then we can remove them for it to be clearer. And we can play with all this information. Then, as you can see, each one of these chords have, for certain terms, the percentages. The test instance, that is this one, this is like the old atlas. And just to show you how it was before, and it's what I explained to you yesterday. We had like a yes for genomic data. So we know that this chord has genomic data, but people that had used the atlas had encountered this issue that once they made all the steps and all the process to contact the chord and ask them to get the actual genomic information for do whichever assay they need to do, they found out that in some cases, there were very few participants that had genomic data. So that's why we have made this change. And now we ask the records to provide these percentages for different, some of these descriptors that I told you about yesterday. And we have added also information of ancestry here. So if you want to do certain research and are interested in certain chords, what you will do is come here. Here there are all the chords that are currently into the atlas. They are 42. And then you would select the filters that are interesting for your research. So if you want, for instance, chords that have genomic data in most of them participants, then you would select this percentage, and this table is automatically updated. And in here you would have the 15 chords that have genomic data, 76 to 100%. If you want those chords that for most of them have whole genome and whole exome, well, in this case, only these have for most of the chords the whole genome data, for instance. So the idea is that you can add filters. So for instance, we can say in this case, half of the chord has genomic data. And then if you go down, you can check for the harmonized metadata. So these are the descriptors, that is the information that the chords give to us in this second tab that I showed you before, yesterday. And then the third tab, the actual data dictionary harmonized, would be, for instance, here, sample types, blood, or other in this case. Well, yeah, I think now it has selected only this. So for instance, if you want to search for sample types, you can, there are cohorts that have in their harmonized data sets, blood, urine, or saliva, for instance. You can check for diseases. So if they have cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and so on, healthcare information. So all the different information that has been harmonized, you can find it here. This would be like the higher term, and then this would be like the specific terms that have been harmonized. And in this way, you can really filter for those cohorts that are interesting for your research. So if you want to filter for cancer and that have blood samples, then you will have these 5 cohorts that they contain in their database information about blood and about cancer. So in a very easy way, you have filtered 40 cohorts, and you now can maybe select other things or check which one of these cohorts will be more interesting for you to make the research that you need to do. You can also see here the current enrollment, how many participants the cohort currently has, and then the target enrollment, which will be the aim of the project for this cohort. And yeah, so you can select different countries if you're interested. And then another thing, so in here you can see the selections, so you can remove them very easily. And another important thing is, should I find it? Is this. So as I told you yesterday, we had these 12 cohorts for which we had harmonized metadata. Then recently we added these 30 cohorts for which we got some descriptors. So we got this information that we get in the second tab of the Excel file. That is important information, but we didn't get harmonized data dictionaries for them to be harmonized. So we had this information. We thought that is very useful also for the researchers. And in here you can select for which ones do you want to see. So we have these 12 that are the ones that have harmonized metadata, that are this. And these are the ones that have all these diseases, healthcare information, and so on that you can select. And then we have these 33, in which we got this information. We don't have harmonized metadata, as you can see here, no data. And now our aim is to get these cohorts and begin to make the process for data harmonization for the data dictionaries. And we want to begin to increase the amount of information that we have in the atlas. And then once you find the cohort that you're interested in, you can go here in the website, and it should take you to the website of the research of the cohort that you're interested in. And then in here, you would check how you can contact the owners of this cohort, if it's possible to get actual information, and so on. And just as a reminder, in here we don't have any values. We only have the data dictionary information. So this is how the atlas works. It's very easy to use, and it can provide very useful information. And then the last thing that I would show you is the test. This is a test instance that we have, and it's where we uploaded our fake submission of yesterday. And is this one, this workshop. And I didn't add anything about this, for instance, in the Excel file. And just to show you that it has the terms that we harmonized. So this cohort would have information about alcohol, about tobacco, about cancer, and then this other socio-demographic, birthplace versus age, birth date. So the terms that we harmonized are the ones that are shown here. So yeah, I don't think I can explain anything else. If there is any question, I see the chat. Do we have access to their metadata? So for the question by serial, if you mean their values, no, we don't have access to the actual values of the participants. We only have access, we only collect the data dictionary, the terms that they have as for which they have information, but for security reasons and privacy concerns, we cannot have the values. Is this in the future? The aim of this project is to, through like sites, doors like this, to be able to find the course that you're interested in and then directly apply for access. And then if you are granted access, to be able to analyze the data like on the site where the data is. But at the moment, we only have the information of the data dictionaries. So, yeah, thank you. And if there are other questions, I'll be happy to respond.